Hello, my friends of Cosmic Agency, the whole community of Cosmic Agency, but also and especially hello to everybody who might be watching me from the new crew of Alcyone and Asterope ship. Welcome to the orbit. Hello, this is me here, Taygetan in the immersion, but down here talking to you as a human. I have no memory, if you might be asking, but here I am in the skin of a human, giving you this perspective of a human and several advice on how to approach this whole situation with this new program. Okay, I'm going to mostly have this advice for the Taygetans. However, stay tuned, all of you, dear friends of Cosmic Agency down here on Earth, because I'm going to have some messages for you as well in the second part. And it's going to be important, so stick around. Okay, first advice. As you notice here on Earth, we don't really have telepathy that much developed. So you are freshly coming from Taygeta, where you are operating with a verbal telepathic type of communication. However, here everything unfortunately is word for word. You have to choose your words very carefully, because people who are reading you are not reading your intentions telepathically, at least not most of the people that you'll be leaving these messages for. So they don't have your eyes, they don't have your face, your body language. All they have is just words. And a lot of times the intention can be misconstrued and changed completely just because someone interprets the words in a way that was not originally intended. So you have to be careful with that. Many times a lot of miscommunication happens because of that. Okay, next advice is choose your internet time wisely. Don't get too distracted with a lot of things that you're going to be seeing, because it's going to be a lot of different things on the internet. It's very easy to get lost. Just focus on your task, and I advise you to do your main tasks early in the morning, like the first thing, because for some reason that's how it works the best. You have your priority list of things to do them, get them over with first, and then you'll be more relaxed during the day. Using your internet time wisely, it's also very important for your overall energy level and your eyes, because the computers here drain the energy very much. They are just constructed the way the technology is such that it just absorbs your energy. You feel tired, so you have to be very careful with that. Watch and observe and monitor your energy level. And your eyes, like for example, my eyes are getting blurry throughout this whole process of doing this work. So protect your eyes always with some sort of protective glasses and technology, and don't let yourself be too drained by too much time on the computers. Now, very important. Let's now start getting into the very important advice. As you know, Earth is much different than your home, Taygeta. And here there's a lot of negativity, and people are very used to confrontation. And I have to commend you for your bravery, because you are not only coming to talk to people, like, face to face. Perhaps it will be a bit different, but you are entering the layer of the human society when the human interaction is much less nice, and that is the internet world. For some reason, in the internet world, where everybody is anonymous and it's all just much more open, everybody can just like express whatever they want and spew out whatever thoughts they want, and they can insult each other without any further consequences. So that's what happens a lot. So you are entering this level of the human society where that not niceness is even greater. It's even more intense. So it's very important for you not to take any negativity personally. I know it's going to be hard if you do see some, but that's just how humans here are, especially on the internet, in social media. Humans are very used to confrontations, to discussions, and they are not afraid of strong opinions and back and forth confrontations, and it may even seem aggressive at some point. So that's just how it is. Don't take it personally, and don't be too offended. I mean, this is what you came here to do. This is what you came here to face. This is how things are here. The life here is not easy. So be brave and be very patient, and don't take it personally. Now, I understand and I like this idea and I agree with it that it's very important to come here and reinforce the starseeds. So you will be in starseeds communities, in light workers communities and all that, enhancing their presence here, enhancing and supporting their ideas, and injecting some of your higher, more noble perceptions and ways of thinking. And that's great. That's what we need. It's a sort of a monitoring done silently from you. However, I would say for the more brave ones, go out into not so starseedy communities also, because many people, many awakening people, many good people who deserve to be awakened and found, discovered, are also out there in the matrix world. And we are for them here as well. Yes, it's going to be by the frequency match. They're going to, be drawn to you if they are meant to, whatever. But that frequency match can also occur in those not so starseedy environments and places, because they are there, and many times they are lost, they are looking for their ways, they are freshly awakening, they don't know what to grab onto yet. So you can leave your fingerprints there as well, and inspire those people as well. But beware, because those not so starseedy communities are very tough, and there are a lot of agent smiths, a lot of trolls, a lot of bots, and hello to the Earth reality. I don't know how it is in Taygetan exactly. Well, I know you don't have that as much. We have unreal people. I'm pretty sure this is part of your training as well. Here we have matrix people, background people. Only 1 in 5, as we were told in the very beginning, is a real person. So we have soulless people here. Yaski once told us that it must be occurring out there as well, but it's not as pronounced as on Earth. So here you'll be dealing with the people and a lot of comments, because yes, they can comment. They appear real, but they're not. You'll be dealing with the comments from those. So those will be especially tough because they are here programmed, designed to sustain the matrix. They are here to support the matrix and make sure that it's stable, that the starseeds have tough job doing what they do. So beware of that those people are not meant to be awakened anyway. But of course, it's going to be difficult to know who is who. Perhaps for you, it may not be so difficult. Perhaps telepathically, you'll be able to know, okay, those people are just not worth it at all. So I hope you can use some of those inner resources to know what group is worth your time. Now, also another thing, that's just my advice. Don't make your messages too overall and general and universal, new agey, because we already have a lot of that. So I would say, those typical positive messages, leave that to the people who are already doing this, starseeds, channelers. We have so much of that, because if you focus on that, your messages will be lost, because there's just thousands of that, because we are already doing this, starseeds on Earth, injecting this community, Earth community, with those higher messages. They are channeling, they have memories, thousands and millions of starseeds on Earth. And also, of course, extraterrestrial races are also sending their messages through different avenues to Earth. So a lot of these typical positive messages, we already have that. I think it's time for something else, something new, and that's what you represent. So bring some of your uniqueness and different thoughts, and more specific, and something really cool. Now, idea that occurred to me today. And this is an idea that I would call alter ego ideas. Okay, you know, maybe you don't know, maybe you are just discovering that we here on Earth have cinema and acting and actors and theater. And I'm not going to spend time now explaining what this is. Someone will train you with that. But actors and actresses here, when they prepare for their role, for some, a character they're going to play, they are not just learning their lines, but they're also kind of mentally preparing the whole story around that person, around that character. So it's easier to enter that character when they are going to play it. So they invent, the childhood. They are preparing the whole psychological profile of that person, where they lived, what they studied, friends they have, families, sicknesses, problems. So it's kind of like, it's easier for them to enter that framework of that person. And I think it might be a good idea for you to do that, because you need some kind of a framework from which to relate to the humans. And if you're just gonna leave messages here and there without any story, that's kind of interjecting story, could be a sentence or two that supports that, then it's going to be more difficult for you to blend in. So, for example, if you are Raphael from Procyon, well, then you can come up with a human alter ego that would be Rafa from Valencia in Spain. And you will be, you'll have a whole story in your mind. 2 years ago, I was in London and I studied this and this. And my sister, she has a dog and she lives in Paris. So this way, you'll be able to draw from that story when you have to spontaneously say something in the forum or in a group. So, for example, you'll be able to say something like, "Oh, 2 years ago when I studied in London, I studied physics, and my professor told me this and this. Well, I disagree with that. I think," and then you can interject your Taygetan stuff. And this way you'll be able to blend in more. And also, a lot of people will be looking and observing you, especially if they'll be suspecting that you could be someone else. People are very smart here too. So they will be looking at contradictions. Like you could say, "Oh, I studied London in physics," because spontaneously you just got this idea. But then 2 weeks later you will say, "I studied chemistry in Sydney," and that's not gonna be the same story. So there's going to be holes in the story. So prepare your story, prepare your alter ego. It's going to be easier for you to draw from that later when you communicate. Because I also advise you to communicate with expressions that are going to confuse people about who you are. Like, for example, you have to say, "Oh, my mom recently moved to Copenhagen and she met a friend there, and when I was there during a visit, I saw that the society there, blah 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 blah." Then you can develop your idea. Like I suggest you always interject that kind of a human story somewhere, without exaggerating, of course, because then you will draw too much attention, so that it can be clearly seen you have a human story, that you have it's kind of like insertion of. I just had a video about that, how the Matrix inserts stories around the step downs, where, well, you can have fun now creating your own story, inserting that story around your online persona that you'll be acting through. Okay, now I understand that the idea is the more global reach. So you will not be in places where you'll be just talking to someone individually. And I think it's a very good idea, because just like me, I don't have time to be spending that time to respond to individuals' questions, when I can take that question and respond in a video. And this way it can be viewed by thousands of people. So if I want to affect many more people, I would prefer to make a video, and then many people will be able to access that. Many souls will be able to benefit from that, instead of just me writing an individual message here and there. Remember, you are just 500, about 500 at this time, more or less. It's a lot. It seems like a lot, but there are billions. I don't know how many exactly. I know the numbers are wrong, of humans. So you have to use your time wisely. You have to be able to have your messages be appreciated and benefited by many, not just by individual people. Now, I know that you, the starseeds who are watching this, are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to say this, and it relates to this whole individual versus global reach. I'm going to say this because my primary task here is to protect the Taygetans, to protect this project, and also, as a consequence, you may not be able to see it right away, but to protect you, because their project, is intertwined with some of the positive future for the starseeds. So if their project fails, it's also affecting the future timeline for the humans. So what I'm going to say is this: Taygetans, do not get sucked in, and that's the correct word for it. Do not get sucked into the private conversations. Now, I know that's not a goal, but it might still happen that in some places where you are unable to block your individual profile, in some places someone might be able to send you a personal message. And for example, they will say, "Oh, I really liked what you said about that astrophysical concept that you developed. I studied astrophysics and I'm really interested in. Could you develop more of this with me, please? Or we have this group with 2 people. My other friend is also interested. Let's talk about that." Well, okay, it's up to you what you do at this point, of course. But if, again, that global reach here is important. But second, what's important is your personal boundary. Okay, I know how Taygetans are. I know how you are from the experience that we had here on Earth with Aneka, with SWARUU, and with many others. And that is, they are just incapable of saying no. They are just incapable of communicating something that they think might hurt the feelings of the person they are communicating with. So in their minds, in your minds, you have this idea that you're always of service, that you are always pleasing others, that you are always nice and friendly and available. That was the mistake that many made in the first project, and also later SWARUU and Aneka. The total inability to protect their personal space and personal boundaries and say no. So if someone writes you, or if someone says, "Can I talk to you privately about this concept that you just mentioned?" You being a Taygetan, a noble person who wants to be available and help, you'll be very tempted by tendency of your soul to say yes. Even though maybe inside you will feel, "I don't really need this right now for myself," or "this is not the plan," but you will be sucked. That's why I said that word. It's sucked into that conversation because of that innate tendency to please. So that's why I'm saying this. It's very important that you guys learn to put down your foot and say no, and ignore sometimes certain people. It's perfectly okay. Oh, by the way, this is very important. Here, it's perfectly fine for us on Earth to hear no. To hear someone says, "I don't have time. I can't now. I'm busy," or this and that, or even ignore. A lot of messages and questions I totally ignore. I'm sorry, but I do, because I have no time. I need to prioritize what I do. My project is making videos, not answering individuals' questions. So you need to have that in mind. You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings, okay? Don't worry about it. Protect your space and protect the main priority of the job, of the project. Do not, I repeat, do not let yourself be sucked into any type of a situation that you do not want. This is very important. And this is also important here for you, the starseeds, to respect. And this is where my message for you, my community, comes in. You may not know this, or you do know it because I have been talking about it, but it still maybe sounds strange to many of you. Like today, it happened in the Telegram group that someone said, oh, if they are just cornered to reveal who they are, what's the problem? They can just say no or ignore the question. No problem. This is not pressure. This is not stress. It is. Let me tell you that you would put them in a very uncomfortable situation in that moment, because naturally they don't like to fake who they are. They don't like to pretend not to be who they are. So they are already in a pretty vulnerable and difficult for them situation, because they have to be playing someone they are not. They don't even have cinema in their society. They don't even know what acting means. So they have to already have a tough job with that. And then if you're going to pounce on anybody who you think might be a Taygetan with lots of questions, and especially trying to reveal their identity somehow, setting up some traps so they slip up and say who they are, you're going to be putting them in a very stressful mindset. And you don't want that. Let them just do their job. Let them just inspire. Let them express themselves. I would just advise you, for you starseeds, to observe, interact, but do not exhaust them, because that could be the end of this project if they see that they are unable to communicate with starseeds following the protocol, because they are constantly pressured. They will not feel. It would just drain them. They will just drain them. Yes, they are fragile, and they will not like it. So for the success, for the sake of this project, and for them to feel welcome and comfortable, just let them be. In a way, anyway, they will not going to respond. If it's a starseed, human starseed, and you're going to ask, who are you? Are you a Taygetan? This person will say no, right? And if they are a Taygetan, they will say no too. You always get a no. So, and if a yes, then you know it's not a Taygetan. Then why even ask? Why even put them in such a position where they have to feel uncomfortable? So protect them, protect their feelings, be here their ally, like many of you said. Protect their energy. Let them just be, let them interject who they are, but without wasting too much time on that, tracking on who they are and cornering them. Instead of that, many of you are always asking, what can I do to contribute? What can I do to help? Well, this is what you can do. First, let them be, let them mingle, let them inspire, observe, and join them in the effort of elevating this human society. So what they do, you are very capable of doing yourself as well. You have been with us for a long time. You have your own insights and your own ideas and your own highly elevated thoughts and energy and joy. Share that with the humans. They are here to do this, to inject us with their frequency. Well, inject the human society with yours. Join them in this effort. This way, because it's them and us, we're the same. Instead of wasting your time, like I'm saying, pouncing on every possible candidate, and that's a Taygetan, let's make them somehow reveal who he is, ha 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 ha. No, first of all, you are wasting that person's energy, because they will have to be protecting their energy twice as much, and then you are wasting your own potential and your own job. Your job is to be doing what they are doing, being you. Injecting your frequency in the community. So join their efforts. Open the YouTube channels. Write, comment, interact. The internet world, unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not sure, is where it all happens nowadays. So express yourself. Join what they are doing. Join the ranks and be their companion, rather than someone they will have to be avoiding because of the whole stress they will be feeling. So this is my advice for now. This is my advice for you, Taygetan friends, those of you who know English, not Polish, English. I wonder if any of you will actually be in Poland. The community is there pretty big, is growing in Poland, but wherever you want to be, and have fun, with this task. It's important what you're doing. Thank you, Yaski and Alanim and everybody for allowing and for being the inspiration behind this project. Welcome again to all the Taygetans. Like I'm saying, don't take it too hard what you see. This world is just tough, and that's just the way it is, and don't take it too personally. And spend time on fun activities on your ship. Don't forget that as well, okay? Don't forget your hobbies. Don't spend too much time on the internet. It drains the energy very much. So that's that. And you, my starseeds, like I said, join them in this program, being an extraterrestrial yourself, but from within, from inside the earth. Thank you so much for watching. If I have any other ideas, of course, I'm going to mention them in the future. But for now, this is it. Thank you again. Bye-bye, everybody.